So hello everyone. It is another episode of Beyond Podcast. Today we have a really extraordinary guest. Her name is Alishka Masakova. Correct me if I mispronounce your name.
No,
Did I
no, it's
pronounce it?
great. You did it nice.
Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, you're from Slovakia,
Yes.
and I can say that you're one of the greatest coders and mathematicians in the whole world because recently Olishka got the gold at the International Olympiad in Informatics, and that's a really huge accomplishment. I want to congratulate you on that. Can you introduce yourself like something that our audience may not know about you, maybe some of your major accomplishments and the country you're from, your age, like some interests of yours?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for inviting me, and it's super cool that I can be the first international guest here. I've heard about your project, and I think it's very cool. What a shame, like people don't do similar things in our country, I guess. Like, so I come from a small country, and Olympiads aren't really like mainstream thing there. Like um, we don't have a lot of participants in our Olympiad in informatics, so it was hard for me to train sometimes. But I was lucky that I found a lot of friends abroad, and then we could train together. And yeah, I'm from Slovakia, but right now I live in Paris because I study at École Polytechnique here.
Oh, that's really cool. So, how was your life at university? Is it a lot different from the lifestyle that you had before?
Mm, what I like is that I can still find a lot of challenging problems every day. Like it's
Oh,
not the same as at Olympiads, but I'm just so happy whenever we practice a new concept and I can approach it with the same mindset as in Olympiads, even when it's something like physics, because we do have some mandatory physics classes here also. Um, so yeah, I guess like it did change a lot, but the mindset I need is still the same. But I can say that I miss my Olympiad time already.
mhm, mhm. I wanted to ask you about the start of your Olympic career. So I know that you participated at various Olympiads of international levels in mathematics and informatics. So how did everything start? I mean, when did you first know about Olympiads and how old were you, in what grade you were, and how has how have you decided like between mathematics or programming, um, and how did this subject differ from other sciences?
Yeah, so I guess it started like sort of even before I was born. Like, so my father and his brother, they participated in like a tournament of physicists, like international physicist tournament. And my uncle was also at IMO, so like I already like had connections to Olympiads when I was small. Like I always thought that, wow, it would be super cool if I made it to IMO someday, because I was interested in math when I was 6 year old, and I watched an interview with one of our like IMO gold medalists, and I really liked prime numbers at that time. Actually, at most social medias or platforms, you can find me under a name that means prime number in our language. Um, and I did math Olympiads since I was very small, because we have different age categories in our country. So I participated in like the lower grade categories at first, and then I made it to IMO for the first time when I was 17, and it was a big opportunity for me. Also, I would like to add, I guess, that like in Slovakia we have two more grades than in Kazakhstan, I think. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. Like we have 13 grades instead of 11, so I guess that's important for the timeline to make sense.
Oh, okay. We at NIS in our school, at Nazarbayev Intellectual School, we have 12 grades, and some
Oh,
private and international schools, they also have like 12, 13 grade system.
oh,
So
okay.
it's quite, it's not that common case, but it is the case in some schools. And for those part of the audience that may not know, for example, what IMO is or what IOI is. So IMO is International Mathematical Olympiad, and IOI is International Olympiad in Informatics. Those are the highest, most prestigious Olympiads in the world in this subject. And I know that you're really experienced, and could you tell our audience about the format of like a basic Olympiad in informatics? Do you have like 2 or 3 tours? And what types of tasks do you solve with these tours, etc.?
Sure. So let's start with Math Olympiad because that's like more common. Like it's kind of like a very long exam. So we get like 3 problems sorted by difficulty. We have 4.5 hours to solve them. They're like quite kind of similar to like problems you encounter at math exams, but they're like way more complicated. We need to like come up with a proof on our own. So it's like making a small math research in limited time, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't call it research because on the other hand, like research is again something way more complicated, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's a way to approximate it. And we have like 2 days, and in math we have like 4 main areas like algebra, geometrics, combinatorics, and number theory. So there has to be like 2 days so that there is like even distribution of those subjects, because there are people who are like way better at geometry, for example, and it's more fair to them, and like they have problems from the subject they are strong at. Then at like informatics Olympiad, we have like 5 hours to solve like again 3 problems on our computer. Like we need to code a solution that solves the given problem under the constraints. For example, you can imagine that we solve problems like how to sort an array of numbers, but like more complicated than that. And again, we have 2 days for that. And I guess like what makes it more challenging than IMO is that we also have to like debug our solutions. Like we don't get points if there is just small mistake in our code. So that's quite frustrating sometimes. But yeah, I personally, I guess I like the IOI format more because it's like more exciting to like see how I get the points live, and it keeps me motivated. While at IMO, it's just like I sit down, I think for 4.5 hours, and I still have no idea like how well I did. I know I solved the problem, but I don't know like how there will be the partial scoring, because yeah, you can get points even for problem you didn't solve if you got some important ideas, but it's like so random. Like I have no idea like how much progress I made. So yes.
Do you feel pressure of time limit at the theoretical at these tours? Because I know that many students may not have enough time to solve all the tasks, and the pressure that they're experiencing stagnates their thinking process and may feel them stressed. Have you ever experienced that at the tours?
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to add that sometimes it's not even that I don't have enough time to solve those problems. Sometimes it's that like I think even if I got like 2 years to solve these problems, like say like hardest problems from IMO, I would not be able to solve them. But like then I really admire people who are able to solve them. And yeah, second of all, yeah, this has been an issue for me for a long time. When I was at IOI 2022 and 23, I missed the gold medal because of this. Like I would say I had the ideas, but I felt like I'm not getting the points fast enough, and then I got like frustrated, nervous, and like started making stupid mistakes. And I think that if I had like 10 hours to like do the problems at home calmly, it would have been much better. So this is an aspect that takes some time to get used to. But yeah, on the other hand, it's what it makes it fun. Like,
Yeah, I understand. I also, when I participated at some really serious Olympiads, I encountered some problems that if I had the opportunity to solve it for like 10 hours in a row, I would not solve it. This kind of problems, and this made me really stressed as well. So the next question I wanted to ask you is about the talent and or the hard work. So do Olympiads in mathematics or informatics require more talent than the hard work or vice versa? So is it about more about the hard work, the effort you put in, or something else?
I think it's like pretty much about both, but like you can make it through if you work very hard, but you aren't very talented, and vice versa. But I think you need to like work hard to like learn all the like, you know, the thing is that like you cannot go to IMO and expect to be able to prove everything on your own, like using the basic axioms of math, especially with like geometry problems. Like there are some theorems you need to know, and you need to use like even Pythagorean theorem, for example. Like, yeah, you need to know like 50 of such theorems for like hard geometry problems on IMO, because it saves you a lot of time to not have to invent it on your own all the time. And like same with IOI, I guess, like while I didn't use a lot of algorithms in the contest, like knowing a lot of like common ideas had definitely spared me some time. So yeah, it is quite about hard work too. I think that in my computer science Olympiads career, I have solved more than 2,000 problems on various online judges. So then I'm often like, okay, I have seen something similar before, so I just need to modify my solution a little bit to make it work. But I think that IMO problems are kind of like require more ad hoc thinking than like IOI problems. That there's often some like very new idea that you have never seen before, and yeah, you either come up with it or you don't.
Speaking of hard work and some preparation strategies, I know that many various different Olympiad winners, they have different preparation strategies. So some recommend to pay more attention to solving tasks, so to the practice, but some may say that it is often more useful and efficient to make some notes and to like a regular revision of some concepts. So to what extent do you agree, and what is your specific preparation strategy in order to succeed at some point at some topics, maybe both in mathematics and programming?
Yeah, so first of all, about mathematics Olympiad, I don't think I'm good enough to give a qualified answer. Like I actually, like until the end of my math Olympiads career, I haven't figured one strategy that works for me. I tried solving some random problems, but I feel like it would have been way more efficient if I did it in an organized way. But yeah, I guess like maybe I will hear a better answer from someone at some point. For informatics Olympiad, I guess like one of the most important things is that, okay, you need to memorize some things, but you should always try to like understand them in depth. Like I try to like not just memorize the algorithms, but I try to read about them a lot, then solve problems where there are some like small modifications of the algorithms required, because like you need to know it by heart, not like memorize it like for school exam. And I also think that like for last few years, what has worked for me as a strategy for IOI preparation was that I did a lot of virtual contests and like regular contests, like online. For example, I think that the Japanese Olympiad in informatics contests are very hard, but very useful for training the strategy for IOI style contests. And yeah, I did that for training the strategy, because I would say that the strategy at informatics Olympiads is like 50% of the final result. And then I always upsolved the problems I could not solve in contest, either with help of editorial or just on my own. And
Mhm.
yeah, so that's how I discovered new concepts, I guess.
So you are more inclined to paying attention to practice rather than just memorizing like some things. You just memorize it naturally. So you solve something and you memorize it
Yeah,
by like. Mhm. And I guess that the major part of our audience that is interested in programming and in improving their skills in programming and coding, they want to know where they can do this virtual contest. I know that the contest is like a trial tour, I can say, where you solve various tasks. You code them under like time limit, and I know that there is a special platform for it for in informatics. Can you tell like more about this aspect of preparation for this part of the audience?
Yes, so like about the best websites for those online competitions, I think that like of course Codeforce is like the main website for competitive programming. So you can find like blogs there about any algorithm. Like when you want to learn about new algorithm in English, then like I guess like Codeforce is best for that, especially when it's like advanced algorithm, because it will like consider the applications of it in competitive programming and not in real life programming. So like it's especially for like your needs. You also have like contests there frequent, like 2 times per week. So that's an advantage if you want to train frequently. Also, I should point out that like the website is originally Russian, and there are a lot of resources in Russian language too. So yeah, the language barrier should not be a problem. There are also like statements, like for every round there are statements in Russian language too. Then there is like AdCoder. It's a bit similar to Codeforces, but there are no blogs. It has very good contests for beginners, the AdCoder beginner contests. Then there is the CS Academy website, which has amazing tool for visualizing graph and some contests too, I guess, but I didn't really look much into it. Then there is the CSES. Yeah, I will send the link later.
Okay.
Website which has like a lot of problems on which has just like a lot of problems on well-known algorithms. There are like 300 problems, and it is said that like when you solve all of them, you are already at like IOI bronze level because you know all the basic techniques. Yeah, so I think like those are the websites I use most frequently. Also there is like for Olympiads, like which are a bit different than normal online competitions. There is the OI checklist website, which helps you track the IOI problems you solve and like other international competition problems you solve. And there is OJ US website, which is like online judge that has all past Olympiads problems. And it's also very good for Olympiad training.
Don't you mind if you send these resources to me? Like
I will.
Yes,
Yes, I will write it down.
so I can attach it in the description, so our viewers may just go to these links and check it out. So concerning the resources that one might use for preparation for mathematics Olympiads, what can you recommend to solve? What tasks you recommend to solve to prepare for mathematics?
Yeah, so like my mathematics Olympiad preparation was like less organized, as I say. So I just like solved problems from IMO shortlists. Those are like, yeah, for each year, IMO, the problem committee will select like 30 best problems and then pick like 6 out of them for the final competitions, but the like 24 remaining problems are still released, and it's called the IMO shortlist. So like those are like very high quality problems, good for training for IMO. So I solve them, or I just open like EOPS. Yeah, I will send the link later, and just like look up problems from random Olympiads there and just solve them. Then what was a great thing for me to do when I was preparing for Math Olympiads was to solve problems with my friends. Like I sometimes invited a friend over and we would just like solve random problems for 2 hours, and then we would like maybe go hang out too. But yeah, it was like very fun for me. Like what I like about Math Olympiads is that you can train with someone else way easier than Informatics Olympiad, because there isn't the aspect of coding. You just need to like figure the problem out together. So it's way easier. Plus you have someone to check your solution too, because in Math Olympiads, the problem is that if you train on your own, no one will check your solution. While when training for Informatics Olympiad, you just submit it and know if it's correct or not. And then in our country, we had a lot of like preparation camps for our Math Olympiads, like not as many as some other countries have, but I think I learned a lot there. Again, there was the aspect of solving with someone else, which really helped me.
The practice of solving with someone else is actually also a common case in Kazakhstan, because when I and my friends meet each other at preparation camps, we also like to solve some tasks together and then go hang out somewhere, somewhere around the school. So thank you so much for this answer. I think it was really helpful to hear, and thank you so much for sharing these resources. So, and also the question that really like concerns me, I participate at Olympiads in chemistry, and in order to succeed at the chemistry Olympiads, we need to not only to solve tasks, but to read quite many textbooks with these theories. Do you have like the same thing in math and coding? I know that maybe for coding you do not need to read textbooks, but maybe for math you need to read some theory in like specific textbooks. What textbooks can you recommend?
Well, so like I think it's actually the other way around. That in Math Olympiads, the problems at IMO are designed such that like the high school level knowledge is theoretically enough to solve everything. Like they're looking for problems that test, I don't know, like your natural intelligence level, not like how much you learn, I guess. And that makes it kind of harder. Well, of course, it's like good to learn like basic geometry stuff, because like, yeah, the geometry still requires a lot of lemmas to learn. I know that there is like this book from Evan Chen, EGMO, but it's not the competition, it's a book that's very good for learning geometry, but since it's not for free, I didn't use it. But I know friends for whom it worked very well when they used it. What I did is that just I was solving problems, and whenever an unknown theorem came up in the solution, like whenever I could not solve the problem, I read the solution and there was some unknown theorem, I just learned it and tried to remember it. For Informatic Olympiads, I think there is this website, CP Algorithms. It's also like both in Russian and in English, and there are all like the basic algorithms described quite well with like very concise implementations. So like I was learning a lot of algorithms from there. Then I also guess when I was starting, I was reading some Slovak books about the algorithms, but I can't recommend those because of the language barrier, I guess. And like I guess in the very beginning it doesn't matter. It just like matters if you have like one source that suits you. For example, for me, it was always way better to read it from websites than like read books or watch videos, because I don't have long attention span. But overall, I think that like it's okay, this is probably like very narrow view because I haven't been doing any physics or chemistry Olympiads, but I would expect that there are like less formulas you need to learn than in those Olympiads.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, like I still struggle so much remembering all the physics equations because we have some mandatory physics classes here. It's so hard.
Yeah, I agree. Physics is indeed really hard subject. Next question I wanted really to ask you is about the discipline. I think it's the pain of every Olympiad participant, because if you do not have discipline, if you cannot discipline yourself, you do not work hard, and that is really bad. So what were the ways you disciplined yourself? Like, did you delete any social media while you were like grinding, grinding?
Yeah, that's the one. So I have huge respect for anyone who like decides to delete social medias just to like be able to focus more on Olympiads. But I think it's a good idea. Like I wasn't exactly doing it, but for example, what I did was that like before I muted almost all notifications except like my closest friends and parents because I didn't want to see a message that would distract me like and make me not sleep before the competition or anything. Maybe it was a bit too much, but yeah, I think that's a nice thing to consider if such things can make you sensitive before competitions. And what I think about long-term training is that like if you keep procrastinating and watching social media or something, it just means that like you don't have motivation to train. And like even if you uninstall Instagram, you will find like new way to procrastinate instead of training. So I think like you should try to solve the underlying cause instead of just doing some temporary solution like uninstalling a social media. So you should try to increase your inner motivation. What I sometimes do is that I tell myself, okay, if I solve like this problem, then I will watch like one episode from a series I'm watching, or like, yeah, I will go take a break and eat something. Um, or another way to like increase the motivation is when you challenge a friend on similar level, like, yeah, let's see who solves this task first. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's a way of getting like inner motivation. And I think it should not be underestimated.
Mhm. It's a really working method, actually.
Mhm.
Um, uh, so next question I really wanted to ask you. You partially already answered that question. It is about what do you do 1 or 2 days before the tour? Like you said that you mute all of the notifications. Do you feel like really stressed before the tour? Do you get enough sleep before the tours? And what are your some like pre-tour routine? I can say.
So I used to be like very nervous before the competitions, and then I often like couldn't sleep and did badly in the end. But I think like during my last few Olympiads, like this summer, I found finally some like strategies that helped me. So yeah, first of all, I try to not look at social media too much, like evening before the competition, because sleep is important and it should not be underestimated. Like I do well better when I sleep well. Then I usually have like some small mascots, like I used to have like fox plushies. Then I also have like rubber duck from my EGMO teammate,
Yes.
and another rubber duck from my sister. And yeah, I carry those small mascots with me to competition to like remind myself of like people who are cheering for me. And I also think that it's very important, like uh, like when you do II, for example, like you are seated there in the competition hall, like 15 minutes before the competition, and they tell you don't touch anything, don't leave your desk, don't talk to anyone. That's quite stressful for me because what am I supposed to do then? Like I'm just there on my own thinking. So what I did this year is that like I tried to like very quietly sing to myself, remember lyrics from my favorite songs. Um, that helps me calm down before competitions. And during competition, I think it's extremely important to eat a lot. Like people often underestimate it and they're like, okay, I'm not doing well, so why should I waste time on eating chocolate? But no, it's very important. You should try to like eat a lot during competitions. And yeah, I also like that during competition, like to drink water every time I submit something and wait for it to get judged, because I read somewhere that like your brain needs a lot of water to work
Mhm.
well. I think it's true. And yeah,
Yes.
then I also go to toilet a lot, and I think that's also a very good way of like being able to just walk around and get new ideas. Like I get so many new ideas when the guide goes to walk me to toilet and back. So yeah, it's important to like do small things, like not underestimate your health during the competition, because like the state your body is in will influence your mind and how you perform in the end.
Yeah, I think those factors are really important. And do you listen to music before the tour, like the evening
Mm,
before, or it is distracting?
um, I guess like it's not that I listen to like a specific song before the competition. Although I did have a friend with whom like we went to EGMO a few times, and like we used to listen to like one specific song before the competition. And um, but I personally don't do things like that. But yeah, I guess it did help me when like at some competitions I listened to music while I was like traveling to the contest station. And I think like mm, music is a great way to distract yourself from the thoughts that can make you nervous. What I probably do more often is that I draw on paper like while waiting for the competition to start. um i- yes, like drawing is like my hobby.
Your way to relax, maybe let
Yes.
your disturbing thoughts go. The reason I ask this question is because I know many people also listen to music before the competition in order to relax, and it helps them feel less anxious. That's the reason. Or there are some people that completely reject listening to music. They do not listen to music the month before the Olympiad, and not
What?
the month before the Olympiad. They do not listen to music because there are some moments when during the tour you may accidentally remember some random lyrics, random song, random moment, random meme, something so random that you might be distracted. It happened with me several times when I was at a really serious tour and I just remembered some meme and it distracted me. At the same time, it was really like hilarious that I remember that my brain did this. So yeah, that is really, I think, individual to like every person. Next thing I wanted to ask is about the format of Olympiads and the selection format, like for international Olympiads in Slovakia. Do you have like several selective stages in order to get into to make it to the national team? And what is the format of your like national Olympiad, if I can call it so?
Yes, so like we have like few stages. First we have like, I will explain informatics Olympiad, but math Olympiad is like almost the same. So yeah, like we have like one format that most Olympiads follow in our country. So first we have like the homework stage where we have like 2 months to work on some problems at home, and then we just submit them. And from there, like the best people qualify to the regional round. Our regional round of Informatics Olympiad is a bit specific because we don't code there. We just like read the problems on paper and like describe the solutions on paper. It's quite annoying for me, but it does help beginners who like just switch to Informatics Olympiad from the Math Olympiad, because they don't need to code well in order to like get to the further stages. Then we have the National Olympiad in Informatics that has like 2 days. And again, it's a little bit specific because the first day is theoretical. So like we are solving the problems only on paper. And the second day is practical, where we like solve different problems, but like we have to code it. And then there are like big differences in the results for individuals, like for the day one result and day two result. So yeah, you can never know like what will happen. Then we have the team selection test for like the 13 best people from our national Olympiad. And our team selection test is quite hard, I think, because we have like 1 week of competitions, and every day we have like 2 competitions, like one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Like every time I'm there, like it's so tiring, but on the other hand, it's fun because we know that in the end, like the result is going to get like very distributed. Like there will be big differences because there is like enough time to for everyone to like show their skill. Like it doesn't matter if they will fail to debug a problem on one day because they will manage to succeed on like 3 other days. So like we are quite chill, I guess, at the team selection test. Like for example, one time 4 people from our team selection test brought their guitars there and started like singing and playing guitars like 3 minutes before the competition. They did not stop when the competition started. They had to like finish the last chorus of the song. It was very fun.
I bet that you have really good coaches in your like at your preparation camps. And have you ever had like individual classes with some coaches in mathematics or informatics in order to improve your skills, or you were like your preparation were mostly individual?
I think like especially in the later years, most of the time I prepared on my own. Like there were some people who helped me like when I was beginning and taught me a lot. Like first of them was my mom, who taught me like all the basics of mathematics, and she prepared me for the math Olympiads when I was really small. But like most of the time, like during last 2 years, I was just studying on my own. Or like when I struggled with something, I would ask like my friends. But yeah, like I wouldn't say I had a coach like in my last few years of Olympiad career. But I think that like if someone has the opportunity to get one, like it should be a good yeah, like it is a good opportunity, but like not everyone has it, and it's okay. Like you can train even without a coach. The right environment and mindset is more important, I think.
Mhm. So can you give some tips on how a beginner student can improve their skills without a coach? Maybe they can they can construct their schedule. For example, on Monday, I solve this. I like study this topic. On Tuesday, I do this. And for example, every day I need to study for 5 hours or more in order to succeed. Did you like have a schedule while preparing for Olympiads, or it was like more like a flow?
So like I tried to have a consistent schedule, like for example during COVID times when I had a lot of times to train. Like I try to tell myself that every day I'm going to train for 5 hours for informatics Olympiads and also like few hours for math Olympiads. But I think that like quickly makes it not fun for you, and like you will end up like procrastinating in some way, or you won't be like so focused or motivated. So like for last few years I rather try to like I do practice a lot before the Olympiads, but it's because I want to, not because I have to. Like I try to like solve problems that are interesting for me, and like I have some kind of inner motivation to solve them, and I think that gets me farther than if I would just solve them for 5 hours every day and then be like, okay, it's over. I am not solving problems today anymore. One thing I like to do to like be able to, so like for my last year of high school, because of like final exams and university applications and stuff like that, I didn't have a lot of time to train for the Olympiads. But what I liked to do to get more times for the Olympiads was that I often like read the problems and then I remembered them, and then when I was like traveling, I thought about them, or like when I was falling asleep, I thought about them. And I think like that helps too, but like it's not something you have to do, but it's something you can do if you want to make more time to solve problems that you are interested in. There is like one grandmaster on Codeforces, that means like very very strong person in competitive programming, who said that like either like when you think about the problem before you fall asleep, either you solve the problem in your head and that's a win, or you fall asleep and that's a win also. So yeah, I quite like his mindset. Yeah, so I wouldn't say I have like organized schedule, but still I try to join live contests whenever I can, and I try to like solve problems whenever I can and I'm interested in it, I think.
And also concerning some really sensitive topic, have you ever faced like gender inequality while participating at Olympiads, preparing for them? And if you did, how you overcame it?
Like surrounded by supportive family and supportive friends and supportive teachers since I was young, so I didn't experience like much sexism from my community. I think I was really lucky in this direction. And yeah, like I did get some uncomfortable remarks, especially in like the online communities of competitive programmers. Like they are quite toxic sometimes, but like it's both to boys and girls. They're just toxic in general, but especially to girls sometimes like some of the remarks can be a bit hurtful. And yeah, what I do is just that like I try to ignore the person saying the remark, like because yeah, it's important to like be a more mature person and not start a fight, but like ignoring it is like I think the best way to deal with it. But of course, like if my close friends started having this belief, or like someone would try to repeatedly harass me, I guess I would speak up to someone or the said person. But yeah, like I think the biggest mistake you can do is let those remarks get too close to your heart and like start taking them too seriously, and then like not focus well because of them. Yeah, that's like you are letting the other person win and proving them right, and you are harming yourself in this way. So I think that's very important to try to avoid, and try to find some like supportive friends who will help you get through this. For this reason, I think it does make sense to have like girls Olympiads like EGI and ECMO, because you can like find like at International Olympiad in Informatics, like yeah, like even though it's a very nice community, 90% of them are boys. And if you want to find like international girls like you, it does make sense to go to the separate Olympiad, because like it's not about the competition, it's about the event, and it's about the socializing you can do there. Like there are many talented and cool girls I would have never met if I didn't go to EGI, for example.
And I really wanted to talk about like also your most favorite memorable Olympiads that you've ever had. Maybe it because of the country where it was held, or because of the format. What was your like favorite one among all of them?
What I think about like the best Olympiad, so this year I was at a Romanian preparation camp for Informatics Olympiad. It was organized by JetBrains. The name is ACTC. I will send a link later or some more information. And it was super cool because, yeah, we did have some competitions too, but we had like a lot of lectures and fun activities. And what I liked that unlike most Olympiads, like they tried really hard to like fit every minute of schedule with some activities, and they tried to like fit them to our age group. So like we got like very fun quizzes and games we could play. So the whole event will have a special place in my heart. And they just started out this year, and they will have next event sometime the next year. So yeah, if you are eligible, you should definitely try to join. Um, you have to pay only for the plane tickets there.
Mhm.
The entire like event is for free, and it's 10 days. So I think it's really worth it. Mm.
Mhm. Okay, I hear of this Olympiad like for the first time, but it was really valuable information, and I think that our viewers will be really interested. Um, so I guess the next question is like more of my personal interest. Uh, since you have participated at so many international competitions, like 5 or 6 or even more, you participated at EGMO, EGOI, and IMO. And what is your most memorable, not memorable, uh, most impressive memory that you had? Like something random. For example, maybe you threw a party after the award ceremony, or maybe you like acquainted with so many cool people and you had some activity together. So what was your favorite memory from these Olympiads?
Yeah, so I would like there were many like random fun memories I have, but like for like I will probably choose the more boring one. So like for 2 years I could not get a gold medal at International Informatics Olympiad, even though I came really close. And then at the third year, no, it was my fourth attempt, but like basically third time I was actually trying to get gold. I finally got it, and but like at first I didn't know if my score is enough, and then just like a Slovak member of the scientific committee was like walking across the room, like we were still not allowed to leave the room, and he just like smiled at me and showed me thumbs up, and I knew that it's good. Like I was so nervous to look at him because I knew that he knows the results, and I knew that like maybe he will be like the previous year, like just hug me and be like, "It's okay, Eliška, don't worry, it will be fine." But no, he smiled at me, and that's when I knew that I am doing well. And yeah, another very special memory associated to this is that so I was at the Romanian camp, and there was like one of the main organizers. Um, so she's like a big fan of Taylor Swift, and so am I. And she um, gave me like a pin from her show, and it just meant so much to me. Like she gave it to me right before the competition, and it just like supported me in such impressive way. So like immediately, like after the contest, like of course there were a lot of people who wanted to talk to me and congratulate me, but they had to find her. I found her and like I hugged her and I told her yes, like I won gold and it's because of this pin, and that meant a lot for me. Um, so yeah, like overall, like I will never forget that day, and it was not because of like my result, but it was because like so many people were happy with me, um, that I just felt so great.
Mhm. Those are really pleasant memories, I think. And that's amazing that you have so many supportive people around you. So uh, my next question is about the feeling. Maybe have you ever felt burnt out at some point when, for example, you were getting like you were were eager to get the gold medal for quite some time. And have you ever felt stressed about it and like depressed and or burnt out? And how did you manage to overcome this feeling? And what is driving you forward? What was driving you forward to achieve these results?
Yes, so like of course it happened to me many times. Like my father remembers that like when I went to Slovak team selection test for the first time, it was like super hard. It was for 1 week and I struggled there. I was like the last place. Like there wasn't even any competition. Like I was the worst one there because I was like inexperienced, and I started like hating competitive programming. And then like when I came home, like I finally after the 1 week, I told him to like put the computer away. I don't want to see the computer anymore. It doesn't have to be in my room anymore. I'm not going to practice anymore. And the next day I came to him saying that like, okay, I do want the computer back. So yeah, that was like a funny memory for me. Then another time, like when I failed to get like gold medal at Iowa by a very close margin for the second time, I was like very frustrated because I felt like I just don't improve anymore. So I quit like doing any competitions for like 1 month or two, but it was like useful for me because I took a break and then I came back with stronger mindset, I guess. I think like when you really love something, you will like always come back to it, even if you like have a burnout sometime, like it's natural. And for this reason, I think that it's like not good to try to like practice for like too many hours per day or like have unrealistic expectations of yourself, because that way you will just like burn out quicker and not achieve as much as you could.
Mhm. Yeah, I can really relate. I think that many Olympiads participants can relate to you right now. I mean, sometimes when we look like at successful Olympiad winners, we just see the picture and we may not know about all of the person's challenges and like losses that he or she experienced before. What were your like, I know it may be really sensitive, but what were your like most significant challenges after overcoming which you felt like you progressed the most and like you realized something, you reflected on your experience on this challenge, um, and you just like progressed a lot. Did you have like these moments in your
Yes, I used to struggle with big anxiety during competitions, especially informatics competitions, where I knew my score. And when I started feeling like my score is not good enough, I got too nervous and then I couldn't do anything productive for the rest of the time. But I was lucky that like when I was like struggling with this, the main organizer of our Olympiad in Informatics, he's like also like Iowa scientific committee member I mentioned earlier. Yeah, he talked to me about this and he helped me like devise a better strategy that would work for me to overcome it. And like he was very supportive throughout the way. Like, yeah, he was helping me a lot to overcome it. Even at this IOI, he like was like, yes, you finally overcame it, because um the thing is like I wasn't doing well like during the entire contest. Like there was a moment like halfway through the first day when I was like outside medal zone, like um yeah, I was doing very badly. But no, like I just remained calm and like just kept debugging things to get small points. I remained organized. So I think, yeah, that's something I had to overcome, but it's the reason why I did much better at this IOI than the last one. And another thing I had to like overcome is to like not let myself get distracted by like random things people say or do like right before Olympiads, because before I used to like struggle a lot with it when someone said something mean to me like before the Olympiads. I thought about it a lot during the contest, and I could not focus because of it, and that's why I also like try to like not talk to people too much before the contest and turn off social media and stuff like that.
Mhm. Thank you so much for sharing and for being vulnerable here. I think it's really important and valuable to hear. Let's talk about something like, I guess, more fun. And I have a list of questions, like specific questions concerning the programming. And my friends programmers, I asked them, what questions would you ask from the smartest like coder in the world? And they and they sent me a list of these questions. And don't you mind if I ask you these questions? And our Kazakhstani coders will hear an answers from you. I think it will be. Those
If
are
I can be a substitute, then sure.
okay. So, first question is, what is your favorite data structure and why?
Mm. Uh, it's like that data structure does not even have name, but it's like a type of like GCD convolution. I like found in some problems, and then when I was like, the thing is, I'm also like only a beginner, but I'm a problem setter too. I made a round on Codeforces, and yeah, so like one day I thought, how about I try to like extend it to 2 dimensions, and that's exactly what I did, and that's like it appears in one of the problems I have proposed for my Codeforces round. So that is like my favorite data structure, and yeah, I just really like GCD. It fascinates me.
Mhm. So, what is your favorite concept? It is quite abstract question, but well, favorite concept in coding.
Probably like probability. Um, I think like yeah, I really like probability and combinatorics. I'm not very good at them, but like there are some like fascinating ideas um, that are behind the problems. Uh, yeah, like I guess like overall I like more math oriented problems in competitive programming because like I do math Olympiads too, I guess. So it makes sense. Mm. So yeah,
Mhm.
probability and combinatorics, I think.
Just like a common concept to both subjects.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Then the next question is, what do you like more, IOI or ICPC? I know that recently ICPC was held among all students in the world. Did you participate in it?
Well, like ICPC is for university students, so I did not have the opportunity to participate there. So of course, like from a very narrow point of view, IOI is better because like I could participate in IOI and I do not know much about ICPC after all. But on the other hand, I think like team contests are very fun, so I'm quite excited to start competing in ICPC too. I already like found some guys in my university I want to team up with, so we will see
Mhm.
how it goes.
Then, really interesting question. Who is your role model or idol in programming?
Oh wow, that's like a really tough question because like there are some people who I think that they're just like funny and that's why they're cool, but then there are like people who have actually inspired me a lot. Yeah, like for example, one of my role models is like the team lead, like our like main organizer of Olympiad of Informatics. Like his name is Mishov. That's his handle on Codeforces. Um, yeah, like he is a really inspiring person to me. Um, then like yeah, I guess like in some way like my close friends are also role models to me because of like maybe their attitudes to competitive programming are different from mine, and I can learn a lot from them, so I look up to them even if we are like good friends. um
Mhm.
yeah, it's a kind of like hard question. Oh, and like not a competitive programmer, but one person I really admire is my small sister, who is like competing in all kinds of chess tournaments. And yeah, like I think she's super cool. She already knows a lot of things I could never do. Um, so yeah, but it's hard to say.
And the last question is about, I don't know what that means. What that means. Favorite favorite cute idea so far.
Say again, please.
What is your favorite cute idea so far? I do
Cute
not know.
idea and problems.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I explained it already. Like, if someone wants to see like my favorite idea, they should check out the hardest problem I have made on Codeforces so far. Yeah, I will send a link later. Like, it's a bit boring to say my own problem, but I spent months designing it, and I'm like, and I really like the underlying concept, even though a lot of people did not like it so much. But yeah.
Mhm. And something out of the scope of coding. You said that your favorite hobby is drawing and that you
Yes.
like for Olympic tours. Um, why drawing? Why not something else? Why do you like it? And
Yeah, like it's like mm, I don't know. I'm kind of like a quiet person most of the time, so um I guess it's natural that I have like also a hobby that does not involve a lot of talking, but still allows me to express my feelings in a way. Um, and yeah, I picked it up when I was 12 years old and didn't stop since. Like, of course, I had some burnouts too, and I like stopped drawing for a long time, some time ago, but yeah, I always returned to it, and it just helps me relax, I guess. Um,
do
so
you
yeah.
have do you have any like an Instagram page for your drawing photos?
I do have like I used to upload them to Instagram, but there isn't a lot of it. Like it's actually on like 5 pieces because um I don't know. I was too lazy to like upload it there every time. But I can like send you later like some of the things I have drawn lately.
We'll attach it somewhere here. Somewhere here.
Yes, I imagine it like that. That would be super cool.
And the last question is about your plans for the future. How do you plan to connect all the knowledge, all the experience you've gained thanks to Olympiad in your university life? Do you plan on conducting research, on writing a paper, or something like this?
Well, like it's kind of hard for me to say yet, but I chose a university that's like focuses a lot on research because I think it's something interesting. Like I would like to do research, maybe not just like computer science research, but like mathematics or like even physics if I uh, get good enough at it. But yeah, like I'm quite interested in research, and for now I am just going to like study at the university for the next 3 years and hopefully volunteer for some Olympiads when the schedule will allow me. um, I would also like to do more problem setting for the Olympiads in future. um, like inventing my own problems is just as fun for me as to solve problems and competitions. So yes, that's pretty much all I know for now.
Mhm. In our podcast, we have this special thing called question to the audience, for the audience. You may think of any question that you want to ask enthusiastic Kazakhstani Olympiad participants. Maybe it may be like related to maths or informatics, or it may be just a casual like question like, how was your day? It's up to you.
Okay, I actually have a question. It's not not that common question. Many people don't have an answer at all. But I would like to ask, what is your favorite number and why? My favorite number is number 5, because the first letter of my name is 15 alphabet. When you write 5 in binary, it's like 101, which is like II. That's super cool. It has cool relation to Fibonacci numbers, and it's a prime number. So yeah, that is my favorite number, and I would like to ask, what is your favorite number and why? I don't know if your viewers write it in comments, but even if it's in Russian, I will try to read. I'm actually learning Russian sometimes, but I'm not very good at it.
It is not connected to Olympiads or research or stuff like this. What is your favorite? What are your top 5 tracks of all time?
Oh, like songs. Oh, this is
Yeah.
going to be hard. Wait. Um, I need to like make sure I don't. Mm, yeah. So okay, I have like 5 tracks. It's very hard. The list is like not complete, but first of all, like I would say that like yeah, I have to like say that like a Taylor Swift track called "You Are on Your Own, Kid" is like kind of special to me. That describes like the journey of like achieving your dreams. Then Better Than Revenge. It whenever I'm like angry or sad, I listen to it and I feel better. It's not a very healthy way to deal with your problems, but it works for me, so I have to include it because it has special place in my heart. Then I have to like say that a track I have found very beautiful recently is 21 by Gracie Abrams. Then there is a song that has competed in Eurovision 2024 and almost won Rim Tim Tagidim. And it was the last song I heard before my Code Forces round. And yeah, I was so nervous before it, and it was the last song I heard before it. And it just like the song was there for me during a hard time and cheered me up. So it has a special place in my heart. And last but not least is a track a friend of mine has wrote that has a special place in my heart. It's called I Like You, and it's not really a song, but it's a music track that means a lot to me. So that's like not subset of my favorite tracks, I guess.
Okay, thank you so much for this response. I think it's really interesting sometimes to just listen to something that smart people listen to, I could say. I guess that's all for today. And thank you so much for your participation and for allocating time. I know how busy you are and that you're like really excited about your like university life. And I wish you good luck in all of your endeavors. And most of all, wish you patience and energy and always like motivation that will drive you to like create something really cool. And call me when you become a software engineer at some global company, like Google, Facebook. No, I'm just
Yes.
so yeah, and I'm really happy that that we had such a great time today, and I hope that our viewers like this video. They have something to say, like
Yeah, so I would like to say like thank you so much for this opportunity. It was actually very fun for me too, and yeah, I'm sorry that if it was like something that made you nervous, but I didn't even notice. Like, I think it will look great, and I will be very excited to see it when it comes out. So, and yeah, I wish you good luck with this project and everything else. I think it's really cool that you are doing this, and hopefully you will have like more Kazakhstan but international guests too in the future.